Warren Sapp, let's see here, on Colin Kaepernick. Do we have the audio tape?
I heard it was one of the worst workouts ever. I'm wondering how the hell this happened and the tape didn't get out, right? I mean, somebody wasn't over the fence or nothing? Come on, man.
Come on, man. Yeah, all right. So that quote, that's the one right there. That started bouncing around. Disaster, one of the worst workouts ever. That's from Vlad TV. They sent that in, and I don't know, there's like a gossip channel or something like that. Now, that quote, bouncing around the old echo chamber, and that led to a rebuttal from Kaepernick's agent. Imagine being Kaepernick's agent. He hasn't worked in the NFL in years. He's still got an agent. Yikes. Somebody named Jeff Nally, I believe is his name. Never heard of that guy. I'm not apparently a good agent, at least in terms of getting Kaepernick an NFL job. So the agent for Kaepernick responded slamming Warren Sapp. He said, quote, "I guess Warren didn't talk to the general manager or the head coach." Kaepernick's agent said, the agent spoke to the Raiders general manager several times and claimed that although he thought Cap was in great shape, threw the ball well, blah, 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 and said any team could contact the Raiders and they would say the same thing, supposedly. Tell them the same thing. All right, so this is a he said situation. On one side, you have the agent for Colin Kaepernick. On the other side, you have Warren Sapp. So toss-up question. Who is closer to the truth? Warren Sapp or Colin Kaepernick's agent? So the arrow on this one is pointing towards Warren Sapp. I'm on Team Sapp on this one. I've got leftovers, turtle wax, and safety deposit box. And we will tie all of these random things together, and that is how we are going to make the roast beef. We're going to make the roast beef. So, Warren Sapp, who does not have any skin in the game regarding Kaepernick. He's out of the NFL. He's long removed from his playing days. He last took a snap in the NFL with the Raiders in 2007. So we're 15 years now, and the Raiders were in Oakland at that point. Everyone Warren Sapp knows or knew from the Raiders, almost all of them are gone now. They're no longer working for the Raiders. In all likelihood, Sapp was gossiping with his pals in the NFL as a function of human nature. And so really what was going on here is Warren Sapp was talking to people around the NFL. Hey, what happened with Kaepernick? And they said, oh, yeah, you wouldn't believe it. This guy sucked. He took a ride in the vomit comet. He was so bad. And so then at that point, Warren Sapp was just repeating the leftovers. He was reheating the leftovers that he had been told there. And so Sapp now, certain guys, you say, well, that guy said it, who cares? But Warren Sapp's got the credentials, right? People love credentials. He's got the credentials. And so when you have that reputation, people like to tell you things, give you some inside stuff. You curry favor with people around the NFL. So it totally is a logical thing to think that somebody said, hey, Warren, you're not going to believe this. All right. And he's trying to impress Warren Sapp. Say, oh, this guy was terrible. He was so bad, right? Man, Kaepernick sucked. It was like he hadn't even practiced in months. I mean, man. All right, now part B of this, what do you take away from the agent's comments, Kaepernick's agents with glowing comments? Well, parsing the words is what we often do in these parts. There is a clear conflict of interest. There's no conflict of interest with Warren Sapp. He's not playing anymore, and he's been gone for 15 years, so that's not really part of any conflict of interest. But the agent, obviously, right in your face there is a bit of a disagreement in terms of where he's coming from. He's not completely biased. He's obviously, the quotes were slanted, as you would expect an agent to slant the quotes, an advocate for the player. And so this guy, Jeff Nally, his job is to use extra helpings of turtle wax. And that means polishing turds is what you have to do when you're an agent. And he claimed, again, that the Raider GM Dave Ziegler and the coach Josh McDaniels said that they thought Cap was in great shape and that he threw the ball well, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And also said he would think, this is the part that kind of confused me, he would think that Sapp would want Kaepernick on a team. Now, we don't doubt that the silver and black front office there were serving up eyewash. They did it publicly. There were stories out from state-sponsored NFL media that indicated a positive workout for Kaepernick. Flattery is the flavor of the day. Could you imagine a scenario where the Raider brass had come out and said, my God, Kaepernick, I would have rather had a Pop Warner quarterback than Colin Kaepernick. He was not only a quarterback, he was terrible. If they had said that, what do you think the reaction would have been? It would have been pitchforks. It would have been torches. The woke brigade is having none of that. None of that. Nothing negative about Kaepernick. Nothing at all. He's a false god. He's the archangel. And so instead, of course, it's just niceties publicly. And so Warren Sapp, when he says something like that, you're like, oh, wait a minute. He must know something, right? Because he's talking to people and people are telling him the real stuff. They're not sugarcoating what's going on. And so he's like, hey, come on. What do we got here? Now, in terms of Sapp having a vested interest wanting Colin Kaepernick back in the NFL, why would he care either way? It makes no sense. It doesn't impact his life in any way. Sapp is, as we pointed out, long retired from the NFL. He's got no skin in the game here and not really worried about the political angle. Kaepernick, a political figure at this point. Now, the last word here. What makes you question the quality of the Kaepernick workout? So there's one thing here that no one who is on the Kaepernick side can explain, because it is a dead giveaway that something ain't right here. Something does not pass the old smell test or the eyeball test. What is the biggest clue? All right. Just kind of work with me. You know where I'm going with this, right? The biggest clue that something did not go well in the workout. All of these workouts are recorded for posterity's sake. Do we agree on that? That there's always a camera on, that someone is always getting footage of these workouts. So we believe that as the premise, that these things are all recorded. Okay. So Kaepernick worked out on May 25th. It has been now 34 days since we had an embargo placed on whatever video exists. So literally and figuratively, there has been a blackout on the video. Not a sizzle reel, no footage of Kaepernick running around in silver and black shorts and a workout jersey and a helmet. Zippo. Things have been sealed up tighter than a safety deposit box. It's just, there's none of it. It does not exist. The fact that the Raiders haven't reached out to sign him, that part is not shocking. The Raiders don't need Colin Kaepernick. Nobody needs Colin Kaepernick with what he brings to the table. But this was a rattle the cages situation. We said it at the time. We believe it even more so now. But the Raiders, if you look at the depth chart, they're filled to the brim at the quarterback position. And so what were they doing? Our theory was the Raiders were attempting to step on some toes as the spawn of Al Davis. Mark Davis was goofing with the other NFL owners there because they got him with John Gruden. But even if we're wrong on that, the Raiders' depth chart is stacked. They don't need Kaepernick, but the video has not gotten out. Not even a edited copy of the video, which is just closely put together where you show him running around a little bit. None of that. Nothing has gotten out.